All right, folks, as promised, it is time for my 2019 NFL mock draft. First round only will go from number 1 all the way down to number 32 based on the current draft order, so don't be mad if your team is drafting too high. At number 1, the New York Giants. Frankly, they get a little bit lucky here with Justin Herbert, who I think is the top quarterback in this year's draft class. Maybe they shouldn't have passed on a quarterback last year, but if they can end up with Herbert and Saquon Barkley, I think they'll be okay. He's got all the tools you want to be a franchise quarterback. With that said, there's a chance that Justin Herbert actually won't declare. His younger brother's coming to Oregon next year. They do want to play together. Tough to pass on number 1 overall pick, but just keep an eye out for that. If Herbert doesn't go pro, and if Haskins doesn't go pro, who we'll get to in a little bit, this quarterback class is a gigantic mess. All right, number 2 now. I love this pick and I love this fit. Nick Bosa, Ohio State, the Colts. They need a true 4-3 dynamic edge rusher. Nick Bosa fills that role. All right, number 3, the Arizona Cardinals. I thought about a cornerback. I thought about an O-lineman. I'll put him with Ed Oliver, who I absolutely love. But just so you guys know, don't be surprised if you hear some reports closer to draft season that NFL teams aren't quite as high on Ed Oliver, because where does he play in a 3-4 scheme? And he is a little bit undersized, so just keep that in mind, folks. All right, number 4. How about Clelin Ferrell? Remember, the Raiders traded away Khalil Mack, I think foolishly. They need an edge rusher. With Bosa off the board, who would be the ideal fit for them, Ferrell is the next best option. He could have been a first-round pick last year. Had he come out, he comes back to school for another year, I think he'll be a top 10 pick this time around. I absolutely love what Ferrell brings to the Raiders as an edge rusher, a very talented player. With that said, as we discussed Clelin Ferrell here, don't totally rule out the possibility of the Oakland Raiders going quarterback here. Derek Carr, I think, looks a little bit broken right now. Looks a little bit too much like David Carr for my eyes. So I wouldn't be stunned if the Raiders say, you know what, we're going to totally blow it up. We're going to dump Derek Carr and draft a new quarterback. Type yes, or type Y for yes if they think that they should. Type N for no. I say get your edge rusher in what's a pretty poor quarterback class. But if Herbert's on the board and Haskins keeps growing and improving, maybe the Raiders at least consider it. All right, so the top 4 there was Herbert, Bosa, Oliver, and Ferrell. Number 5 then is Greedy Williams to the 49ers. I love this fit. First off, any quarterback named Greedy, automatic first-round pick. There's no way he's not good. Of course, I kid a little bit, but the talent is definitely there for Greedy. Nick Bosa would be the ideal pick for the Niners, but that's kind of true for almost every top 5, top 10 team, so we're not going to count that one there. Greedy doesn't get targeted all that much. When he does, he's able to make some plays on the ball. I think he'll be a top 10 pick. With the Niners, Ahkello Witherspoon not looking all that great, Williams makes quite a bit of sense in San Francisco. All right, to number 6 then. I don't think the Falcons will end up drafting this high, but that's where they sit right now. I'll just give them a great defensive lineman. Jeffery Simmons, a fantastic player in what is a loaded defensive line class. At number 7, Dwayne Haskins goes to Denver, and Haskins still needs to finish out the year. You don't draft a player based on just a handful of games, right, Cardell Jones? But Dwayne Haskins has the upside. He's still developing. He's looked fantastic this year. I think he'd be a good fit in Denver. If he plays like he has so far for the rest of the season, and he shows up against Michigan, which is going to be his toughest test of the year, that's going to set Haskins up well to be at least a top 10 pick. If he comes out, he's only a redshirt sophomore, and if Haskins and Herbert don't go pro, oh boy, it is not a good quarterback class. All right, to number 8 then we go. I thought about a receiver for the Bills. Either way, you got to get more help for your quarterback Josh Allen. How about Jonah Williams? I think he's the top offensive lineman in this year's class. He'd be a day 1 starter for Buffalo. All right, folks, I am hosting a free game on BetDSI. NFL Pick'em, just straight up pick the winners each week. If you come in first place, I'll give you $25. Sign up for free, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code LIVE120. Just DM me on Twitter @WhatGoingDowney if you guys want that link. I'll hook you up. Shout out to producer Brett Scott, by the way, who I think is going to come in first place this week. All right, to number 9 then. Montez Sweat. I actually thought about a safety here. I went with the edge rusher. The Bucs need more youthful guys at that spot because Noah Spence ain't it. I'll take Sweat there, who is a very, I think, pretty refined player overall. I think he'll be a first-round pick in a very, very good front 7 class. All right, number 10, Ja'Kai Polite kind of came out of nowhere this year, has looked fantastic. I think he's an ideal fit for the Lions in that kind of 3-4, 4-3 mix with 3-4 a little bit more of a priority. He's I think a Vic Beasley type guy. I like Polite quite a bit out of Florida. Number 11, and this one has an asterisk by it because DK Metcalf today was revealed actually needs neck surgery. We don't know exactly how severe it is, if it's going to prevent him from being an early round pick or if he has to go back to Ole Miss for a year. Talent-wise, 11 might actually not even be high enough for DK Metcalf, but I did want to shout him out. Even amidst the neck surgery, talent-wise, he's a great fit for the Browns at number 11, who, well, they lost Josh Gordon and Corey Coleman. They need some more help there. All right, number 12, the Texans. They desperately need some offensive line help. The Houston Texans do at number 12. Yadni Kajust has looked very good for West Virginia. And yes, he goes off the board before Will Greer. If they both come out, I feel pretty good about that one actually being the case. All right, number 13, the Dallas Cowboys. The number one thing that they need is offensive weapons. I don't care if it's a receiver. I don't care if it's a tight end. Sorry, Rico Gathers Truthers. Noah Fant is the guy for the Cowboys here. You guys want to move tight end? That's what Noah Fant brings you. He brings you all kinds of playmaking from the tight end position, even more so than a Jason Witten brought you. He is that classic move tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Let me know what their biggest need is, but as for Fant, we can bring up his player card as well here. What Noah Fant can bring you is what the Cowboys haven't really seen. Think of it as what Gavin Escobar and those other tight ends were supposed to be, but way better. Think of it this way. In his last 18 games, Noah Fant has 17 touchdown catches. There's your red zone fix right there for the Cowboys. So number 14, look, I'm not the world's biggest Drew Lock fan, but I think I'd rather have Drew Lock than Blake Bortles because Blake Bortles ain't it. Stop trying to make him happen, Jags fans. He's not any good. The issue for Drew Lock is I'm not actually convinced that he's all that good either. He is a senior, but the completion percentage, the accuracy, not that great. Obviously, he has a tough schedule against some SEC schools, but hasn't really taken that big leap forward. This might be a little bit high for Drew Lock, although the upside is still there because he does have some immense arm talent. So I'll give you guys a hint here. We've gone through the 3 quarterbacks that are going to be in the first round. It's not going to be Stidham, I hope. So how many quarterbacks will go in round 1 this year? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. All right, to number 15 now. Quinnen Williams, Timmy Jernigan's eventual replacement, has actually outplayed Raekwon Davis so far this season. The Jets finally get that edge rusher that they need. Brian Burns, who I think is going to be limited to more of a 3-4 role in the NFL than a 4-3 outside linebacker. Fantastic athlete. I think he'd be a very good fit for the Jets in their current defensive scheme. All right, number 17, David Edwards out of Wisconsin. Look, Jermaine Ifedi is a disaster for Seattle. David Edwards is your day 1 starter at right tackle. Keep investing in that offensive line. Yes, you have other needs right now, and he's best in the run game. I think he fits very well what Seattle wants to do up front. At number 18, it's Josh Allen. No, not the bad one, the good one from Kentucky. At me, Buffalo fans, at What Going Downey. I love what Josh Allen has done this year. I think he could actually play if he had to. Kind of like what Clay Matthews did in his career. All the different linebacker spots. He'd be a 3-4 guy for the Packers, though. We'll stick with the linebacker theme here. Devin White out of LSU. I still maintain the Steelers need a true impact linebacker. Devin White would be that guy. I think he'd fit well in Pittsburgh's 3-4 scheme. He's not quite Roquan Smith, but he's a pretty damn good player in his own right. I love what Devin White brings to an NFL team. Maybe Mack Wilson is the number 1 guy we'll talk about here in a little bit, hint, hint, but Devin White should be a first-round pick as far as I'm concerned. All right, number 20 then, the Dolphins. Byron Murphy. I don't love the cornerback class overall. I think it's kind of more of a bunch of 2nd round and 3rd round guys, but I got Byron as a 1st round pick. The Dolphins, well, they've made it very clear that they want another cornerback. Byron Murphy fills that role. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code LIVE120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Put down $100, they'll give you $120 for free for a grand total of $220 to bet with on BetDSI. All right, outside the top 20 to number 21 now we go. My boy Dexter Lawrence, who I don't love quite as much as Vita Vea, but I still love Lawrence. I like when big, old defensive linemen can actually rush the passer a little bit. Tennessee Titans giving up 126 yards per game this year on the ground. Dexter Lawrence as a 1 technique can help solidify that issue. All right, Dalton Reisner goes number 22 to the Minnesota Vikings out of Kansas State University. Minnesota might move Reisner inside. Maybe they put him at right tackle, pick Riley Reiff on the inside. Either way, they need 1 more offensive lineman. Reisner has that positional versatility that I think projects very well to the NFL, though he's mostly a tackle at Kansas State. Good leadership guy as well. I think he'll be a late first, early second round pick, at least as we sit right now. All right, back to the Raiders here via the Chicago Bears at number 23. And this one actually kind of feels like cheating because Deontay Thompson might actually be more of a number 13 overall pick than a number 23 overall selection. A dynamic safety, and that's what Gruden wants, right? There's been some buzz about Earl Thomas' interest there. He wanted to draft Derwin James. Deontay Thompson is that true single high free safety, makes plays on the ball. Rave reviews from the coaching staff in terms of how much film he watches. He'll be a first-round pick, and given the scarcity of actual true free safeties, he might even go a little bit higher in the NFL draft than what I have him projected, at least for now. All right, number 24, Greg Little. Now, Little's traits and athletic ability and scouting profile coming out of high school, he should actually probably be the number 4 overall all pick, not the number 24 overall pick. But Little still needs a lot of refinement. He's very raw overall, but for the Bengals, I think he makes some sense. Maybe kick him over to right tackle because right now, Bobby Hart is not going to be an ideal option. All right, number 25. I don't think Josh Doxson's working out. Let's go try N'Keal Harry, the dynamic receiver out of Arizona State. Number 26, the Panthers. Khalil is retiring. Let's get them a new center, Tyler Biadasz, who I just call Tyler Badass because that's how he plays in Wisconsin. I think he might actually even be better than David Edwards, by the way, folks. All right, number 27, Rashawn Gary. Now, upside-wise, he might actually even be more of a top 10 selection, but Gary hasn't really put up the production that NFL teams are going to want, especially in a completely stacked defensive line class. You got Raekwon Davis, Jerry Tillery, Draymond Jones, Jared Williams, all still on the board right now. So I like what Gary brings. I think in the NFL, he's actually more of a 3 technique, not an edge rusher. I think if you put him in the 3 technique spot, let him work havoc on the inside, that's when he'll make the most plays. And as of right now, I don't think he'll be a top 15 pick despite the immense upside. But if he has a Taco Charlton type breakout at the second half of the season, oh yeah, he'll sneak his way in the top 15, if not top 10 or higher. All right, number 28 now, Chris Lindstrom, the Ravens, get a guard here out of Boston College. Fantastic on the ground, a very immensely talented player there. Guards don't go all that early, but Lindstrom could sneak into the late first round. All right, folks, if you guys want your own awesome Mizzen and Main shirt, go get one. Comfortable.af is the website, and trust me, folks, you will not find a more comfortable dress shirt than a Mizzen and Main shirt. All right, we'll take it now to our last 4 picks. And again, current draft order, don't yell at me if you think that the team is too high or too low, just how things sit right now. Number 29, Patriots get Mack Wilson. Look, he's an Alabama linebacker. He's fantastic. He makes all kinds of plays. Yes, Jawan Bellings looked pretty good before he got hurt. Patriots still need linebacker help. He could go off before Devin White. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out. I think he'd be a good fit for the New England Patriots. All right, number 30 now, Raekwon Davis to the Packers. This pick via the New Orleans Saints. I love the upside of Davis. He is a freak athlete. Think a David Irving type impact player in the NFL. Hasn't produced the way I thought he was going to. That is a red flag for the Green Bay Packers. The Chiefs now at number 31 with a handful of a name. It is Amani Oruwariye, the cornerback out of Penn State. Thought about DeAndre Baker here. I like Amani a little bit more. Good player. Chiefs, they need more secondary help. And then number 32, it's Zach Allen. It's kind of got a weird body type. Is he an edge guy? Is he a defensive tackle? I'm not quite sure. I think for the Rams, though, they'd find a way to use him and use him well. This is a low pick for LA. They've got a very solid roster. There's some guys coming up for big extensions. They can't afford everybody. All right, so to recap, folks, one more time for those of you just now joining us. Herbert, Bosa, Oliver, and Ferrell lead the way with the top 4 picks. Greedy Williams, Simmons, Haskins, and then Williams. And then into the top, or out to the top 10, I should say. Montez Sweat, Ja'Kai Polite, DK Metcalf, who again does have that neck injury that could take him out of the first round altogether, so we'll see what happens there. Yadni Kajust checks in there for the Houston Texans. Noah Fant, the dynamic tight end, goes to the Cowboys. Drew Lock, Quinnen Williams, and Brian Burns. Seattle gets some O-line help in David Edwards. Then it's Josh Allen, I think a better one. Devin White, Byron Murphy, Dexter Lawrence, Dalton Reisner, Deontay Thompson, Greg Little to the Bengals. N'Keal Harry, Tyler, I'm just going to call him Badass from now on, even though it's actually Biadasz. Rashawn Gary, Chris Lindstrom, then Mack Wilson, Raekwon Davis, Amani Oruwariye, butchered at that time, sorry guys, and then Zach Allen there at number 32.